We gon' put your business on display. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display. I got winners on the way. And no, you can't knock the hustle. And if you gotta get in place, then we gon' put your business on display. Grab a seat, we need you for a minute. And if you got the goods, we can talk about your business. She know what it's like to make a move independently. And I don't fake us like that. We been trusting God like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, we gon' put your business on display.
Hey, everybody, how are you today? Happy Wednesday, and super excited to be here with Insightful Moments with Coach Nisha, and so glad to be here once again. It's the hump day, it's the middle of the week, and I am always excited to have special guests here that can help us understand, grow, expand, network, and all that jazz. So I am privileged to have one of my sisters, not by blood, but through family, a very amazing woman. I take my hat off to her 1,000 times. And so I'm just going to welcome someone very special that will help us all to dream bigger. That's none other than my sister, my family, Dr. Evisha Ford,
Hello.
affectionately called E by me and Wes.
Yes,
Everybody else calls that, but Wes named her. But anyway, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to be here on Nisha's network this evening.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here as well. So, if you guys are watching, this is that opportunity for you to go ahead and click share. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You don't want to forget to do that. And we are just grateful to start this conversation. So, Evisha, I could tell everybody about her probably really, really well, but I'm going to allow her to introduce herself before we get into our topic today.
Thank you. I am an excited person who has been positioned to carry out God's vision for his most vulnerable people, his students. And I am from the South suburbs and been living in the Chicago area for quite a long time. Mom of two rambunctious boys, and so many other things. I've gone to introducing myself in this way. My name is Sanskrit, and it means the most loving person that you'll meet. And so people say, introduce yourself. And I said, well, I'm trying to live up to that professionally and personally. So that's it in a
So
nutshell.
your name is who?
My name is Sanskrit in origin. So, but
Oh,
it
okay.
translates into the most loving person that you'll meet.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
So working hard to live up to that.
You do live up to it very well. So thank you for that. And you exude love everywhere you go. So not just in the heart of your business, but also in your family as well. Evisha could throw a party, y'all. She's always the one that's the hostess with the most. And we're gonna have a good time. And she's gonna be a world traveler. Okay, right? So those are personal points. Catch her if you can, because she might be in Dubai next week and then Europe the next. So yeah, okay. Well, anyway, I want to talk about the iCan Dream Center, one of the most spectacular schools in the south suburbs of Chicago, soon to be nationwide. I'll throw that in there. But I just really would love for you to share a little bit about the iCan Dream Center today.
Absolutely. You know what? Today was such an exciting day at iCan Dream Center. We welcomed a few new team members who just joined us, and I walked into our conference room. We just relocated in 2020. This is our ninth year, and
Located to
we're in Tinley Park. We moved from Hazel Crest to Tinley Park, and we relocated right in the smack dab middle of the pandemic. And so when we moved, I thought, wow, we have this great conference room now, a conference room where everyone can fit comfortably. And so we had everyone to go to the conference room before we split off into team meetings, as we do on Wednesdays. And it occurred to me that we had long ago outgrown this conference room that I first looked at and had, and like just envisioned that we all the team would fit there. And so we had folks lined up on the wall and sitting around. And for a moment, it sort of took my breath away. A couple of my more seasoned team members recognized it at the same moment I did. They were like, this is our conference room. It was crazy. And so there were like 40 people packed around the edges, and just thinking about the fact that we were excited to be able to squeeze in 8 people at the conference room comfortably. And so
Wow.
it was a moment. It really was. We had to sort of be in there in that environment with everybody squeezed in tight to sort of take it all in. And so it was exciting. So the iCan Dream Center was really birthed out of a dream that I had to be able to create opportunities for young people who are diverse learners to expand beyond what perhaps their schools and even sometimes their parents thought would be possible for them. And so we opened our doors back in 2013. We started with one student, and a fire started. And so we just started serving more students, and we help students to finish high school programs. We help them if they're struggling in a regular school environment. Once they're finished with high school, we help them get ready to adults. So we serve them until age 22. And sort of close to my heart is our early childhood program. We started that when we moved. Yes. And that was actually was initially the seed that was planted in my heart, was because of early childhood, and it got watered and started to sprout in for my high school students first. So here we are, year 7. We started our early childhood program, and we are actually already expanding because we're busting at the seams with the EC program.
So I want to say two things. One thing is that how amazing it is that when you move to Tinley Park, I'm glad to say I serve as a board member of the Icon Dream
Yes,
Center,
yes,
and I am excited about it and I'm passionate about it. But one of the things that's really exciting is when we first walked in the building of the Icon Dream Center where it is, we thought it was so big and so huge.
right,
And now it seems like it's getting smaller, but thanks be unto God, expansion is just present, right?
yes,
But the other thing is, I wanted to hone in on thinking about how you started with high school students, and now you're at I think that's such a God thing that you're starting at the formation of preschool to be able to change their lives. Talk to me a little bit about that. Did you ever think about that? Like, it's like I have the end of end of the latter part of the high school years, and then that beginning God opportunity. I really believe just to say, let me assist these parents in showing them that they can dream bigger and see further than where these children are.
yes. The young ones have always been close to my heart for sure. And like I said, that was the initial seed for Icon Dream Center, was planted with early childhood. And so it's a blessing to see that in fruition. But I think that the most important piece about that is that we really understand, we get it most clearly when children are young, that we're not just impacting the child, we're impacting the family. And so one of the commitments that we made to the state when we got approval for the program is that we would definitely prepare those students to be in less restrictive environments and to go back to public school settings, but that we would also service the families. And so one of the programs that is so close to my heart is our parent retreat, as we call them. Not a
Mhm,
parent support group, because we're actually lending support to one another. But we have parent retreats once a month, and our parents just come, and they're not parents first, they're humans first. And part of that human experience is parenting, right? It's
mhm.
living. And so we really speak to that part of them. And I just love that. I love connecting with our parents. When we first opened the Icon Dream Center, I think we were doing so many things just to keep the doors open, right? But
Mhm.
one of the things that really stood out to me, and that really like set on my heart and was really compensation, was hearing from the parents that we served how much their lives have been changed because of the program, and the changes that they were seeing with their young people and the community that was building around it. And so that's been good. So the parent program we have for our little dreamers, we serve them every day 9 to 2, and we're constantly getting creative in ways to be able to support them. We've had some beautiful partnerships that have come out of it. We have a partnership with Lewis University, and so um, we have 4 speech interns who come to us. And so any of our students who struggle with language, they really get a quadruple dose of
Mm.
language services that they would get more than they would get in another environment because of that partnership. And so it's
That
been
is so
important.
awesome. And so watching them grow from one space to another, I'm excited because I remember meeting with one of the students who was your student, but now she's an employee and works with the I Can Dream Center. I mean, and then affording opportunities to get them out there and allow internships to happen and career programs like the CNA program, just the different things that goes beyond your regular school. So I would like you to share, what makes I Can Dream Center stand out from your regular or traditional, I'm gonna say traditional transitional school.
Yeah, that's a great question, Nisha. I want to say it starts from the inside out. So we have so many different innovative programs for our students, whether it's our Saturday programming or our parent retreats. We've been able to get funding to give our student vocational services, and all that makes it so special. But I think the real magic happens from the inside. We have the best team ever. Let me tell you, our team is so loving. They really buy into the organizational core values of grace, of passion. We have a really good time together. Today, I went to lunch with our newest team members. I had a new team member lunch, and I just wanted to sort of sit with them eye to eye and ask them what their experience had been. And unilaterally, what they said was that the culture is different. It's great to be at a place where people actually want to work every day. And
Mm,
that did me so much good to hear, right? Like that's their experience that they've had. They've all been with us for less than 90 days. So that's where the magic happens. I invite my team members, they have their ear to the ground of what our parents are saying, and we respond to their needs. And they're listening to our students. They know our students really well. And so they're saying, hey, maybe we should do this, or let's think about this for a program, or maybe we should tweak this. It'll be better for the students. And we jump right on those opportunities. So
mm.
there's not a lot of bureaucracy, right? Like let's figure out, and if it doesn't work, then we'll pivot and do something different. But we're gonna try it out. So
That's really great. Let's talk a little bit about how the school still gives children the same opportunities as a traditional high school with proms, with talent, with different career opportunities. Um, because a lot of people feel like things are just stunted. This is the feedback that I've gotten just with even sharing about the organization of the I Could Dream Center and about the school, that people ask these kind of questions. Well, do they have this or how is it, so talk about, how you make sure the children feel like they are not just in a different space. Because to me, it's like private education. That's what I would think as it, specifically designed. And sometimes those schools are limited. So maybe you could share a little bit about that.
that's great. I want to actually acknowledge that, and from in two different ways. Part of the reason that starting a high school program was really important to me is because a lot of times, first of all, in our criminal justice system, individuals with disabilities are overrepresented, right? And
Mm,
so what was important to me is that students wouldn't drop out of high school and into the criminal justice system. And so it's important for me that we get our students real opportunities, equip them to be able to go on and live productive and meaningful lives. Um, that being said, a lot of times alternative schools are sometimes the two in the school to prison pipeline. And
mm,
so the way we designed things was with that in mind. We don't have officers walking around. There's nobody waiting to do any physical restraints and things like that. It's just not the way we operate. And our students come to that environment and we make it really clear this is not that place. Right. And
mm.
so the other thing, we had a student with us who came to us, I don't know, it was late fall, and he said to the teacher, he said, it's sort of open around here. What happens if the students want to run out? And he said, that's just the magic of it. He was so brilliant. He said, nobody wants to run out. Everybody here wants to be here, the teachers and the students. And this gave the whole student a different perspective. Like we have a
Wow.
waiting list of students who want to be here. Everybody who wants to be here is because they want to be. And so I thought that was so clever and brilliant. He didn't meet that with like a resistance or a power up kind of response. It was like, it's this is an exciting place to be, right? And so it's not exactly the same as a public school system. It's not. If it were, and that was what we were replicating, our students would have been successful in that environment.
Mm,
It's a smaller environment. We have a 5-to-1 student teacher ratio. We provide a lot of opportunities for our students that are far more robust than probably they would have gotten in, or that they would have participated in a traditional high school setting. And we listen to them. We get feedback from them on what they want to do. The truth is, I Can Dream Center, our high school program, even our transition program, is not for every student. There's a student we have in mind. And if your student is doing great in a public high school, they're socially excelling, they're doing great academically, that's not our student. But we do have a place for students who need a little bit more support to be social. They need some support to engage with peers. They really need a little bit of help trying to figure out what does life look like after high school. We've got a surge in referrals for students who struggled through the pandemic. They really did. And so they might have already been struggling a little bit, but they didn't bounce back when schools opened up again. And those are the students that we were ready to catch with a safety net and to get them, spring them to their next season, right? To push them into their next season. So,
That's really, really encouraging. And what's so interesting about that is I was speaking to my niece the other day, and she just shared that how difficult it was. As you know, we lost my nephew, how difficult it was during the pandemic, and even for her entering into college, and how they missed those years. And that really just you prompted my memory of our conversation. So I can't even imagine, children with maybe some learning disabilities may have gone through even more, but that's not the case for the I Can Dream Center, I'm sure. you know and I'm saying that with encouragement and support, to say if your child enters into the I Can Dream Center, or qualifies to enter into the I Can Dream Center and become a student, that they're receiving more than the average education. And I'm just going to say that one of the things that you say is that everyone has a vision. It takes effective, deliberate communication for it all to align. Can you just elaborate a little bit on that statement? Everyone has a vision, and I'm thinking about that. Like, even, are you speaking even to the children, even to the teachers, the students, even the pre-K? How you said it takes effective communication and deliberate for it all to align. Just elaborate on that a little bit.
yeah. So, and starting the I Can Dream Center, I definitely had a clear thought of what I wanted the space to feel like and what I wanted the parents and students to experience when they came, and how I wanted the instruction to be delivered. And then I realized that, hey, I'm not going to be able to do it all. And so we began to hire teachers and related service providers. And then they had a vision for how things should look, because they had a different vantage point, right, of maybe working directly with students, or our parent coach who has one-on-one sessions with our parents and she hears their heart in a different way. And then we have our program administrators, and so they might deal with things that come up with team members that say, hey, we need some support here. And so everybody, they understand the main vision. They know that we're there to fuel dreams for our students, and that at the end of all, we want those students and families to thrive, but they all have a different thought process and vantage point on how we ought to get there, right? And so, and then what that end result of success might look like. And so we spend a lot of time just kind of talking through. I love the quote about communication, that the biggest misnomer is that it's actually happened. And so we talk through and say, well, what does this look like, and what are the ifs, and what are the pros, and what are the drawbacks to doing things this way. And we don't always leave our meetings and our spaces. A lot of the meetings happen on the go in the hallway. We don't always leave our meetings with necessarily um, being on the exact same page, but in most instances, we leave with a shared vision and a commitment to a process, right? And so, if
Mm.
I can sum that up in a nutshell.
Okay, okay. Well, the I Can Dream Center is doing great things, you guys, and you can become a partner. I mean, what a phenomenal organization to be able, a nonprofit organization to become a partner of. And so, with that, I'd like to talk about some of the upcoming things that have transpired. We are super excited about the cookbook called Spice and Spectrum. And so I'm just going to show you a little preview picture: Spice and Spectrum Recipes
Yes.
for Resilience, by Chef Jerome Brown and the I Can Dream Center. And so let's talk a little bit about this book. Look at the colors, you guys. I mean, and you want to partner with us. Maybe you don't have a student that needs to attend the I Can Dream Center or has the opportunity, but it doesn't mean you can't become a partner of the I Can Dream Center. So, Evisha, tell us a little bit about this project.
Absolutely. I'm going to back up a little bit to our second location. We had a student that we enrolled intellectually, just exactly where she needed to be, maybe sharper than most people, but was selectively mute because of an anxiety disorder. And so I personally never heard her tiny little voice, but she wouldn't speak. And so at the time, we were doing culinary arts, maybe like once a month or something like that. It wasn't a regular part of our schedule. And her father told me, he said, she can speak and she can cook really well. He said, but she only will do it, she has to be in the right environment. And so, of course, being an iCan Dream Center, we created that environment. And so during culinary arts, she just really came to life. And so what I realized is that culinary arts is not just fun. It's not just teaching science. It's not reinforcing reading. It's not teaching how to follow multi-step directions. It's all that. But it's also a space to level the playing field for our learners. And so
Wow.
whether what they come to us with is anxiety or maybe some learning deficits or different things, but cooking, everybody, we all in the same place when we get started. And so we started to incorporate that regularly. And one of my team members who is so close to my heart had a culinary background. And so she started cooking and teaching. And she said, why don't we do a cookbook? I was like, okay. So the students brought in recipes and things. And I said, you know what? And we did. And I said, you know what? Why don't we take this cookbook project to the next level and find a celebrity chef to partner with us? And so we did just that. And Chef Jerome came on happily and joined this project and really did take it to the next level. This is his third cookbook, um, two of which have been bestsellers. This is our first project, and
Okay.
it's been fun. It's been a labor of love. So anybody who's ever written a book of any kind knows that it takes some effort, but it's been so exciting. The difference between this cookbook, if you like cooking and you like cookbooks, get the cookbook. The recipes you can attest to. The food is great, and
Right. The
but
food is
take them to a
amazing.
tasting party.
Amazing.
Um, but what's really cool about the book is that it was written during the pandemic. And one thing that kept us all comforted during the pandemic was food. So that's one thing we all had in common. And so what we did, we talked to our students about we invited them to tell their stories of resilience, about, I don't want to give away too much, but our students' stories from the heart are in there. And one of the things I like to say about students with disabilities is that people think, oh, I know an autistic person, so you think you understand autism. The truth is that if you know a person with autism, you know one person with autism, right? And they're living real lives in addition to having a disability. And so we really capture that, like the things that they're understanding and growing through in the cookbook. And the stories are tearjerkers and they're heartwarming and they are refreshing and mostly they're inspiring and they let you know not to put any barriers or limitations on our students. So
Wow. So exciting. So you guys be on the lookout. What is the date for the launch of the book, Spice and Spectrum?
it will be in a store near you in July. So
All right, a store
July.
near you. So you all be on the lookout. And then we have something else exciting coming up in July, on July 9th, none other than Battle of the Chefs, an
Yeah.
amazing event that will take over the Flossmoor, Illinois area.
Yes. Yes.
Tell us about that.
Oh my goodness, so much fun. Think street party with great food, right? Like, and a fun battle, a friendly battle. I put that in air quotes because there's a lot of trash being talked between the chef groups that are battling right
But
now.
of course,
Yes, yes. So last year, we had 300 people in the rain. The rain did not stop people. We thought, oh, what should we do? Should we cancel? Should we move? We didn't do any of that. We were outside in the pouring rain, 300 people and another group of folks that were completely unexpected that walked up and just hung out with us, watched the chef battle. It was so much fun. It was Damon Williams was the moderator. Chef Jerome, Maureen from Dunning's Market battled it out. Just a super fun time. And we're going to recreate that all over again. This time we won't be in this tiny area. We're going to have that entire cul-de-sac in downtown Flossmoor. And it'll be blocked off and we'll have a stage so that everybody can see. And we're going to all join together on one accord and pray that we don't have any rain again this year. So,
yes, we're going to say that right now. So you
yes.
guys save the date. How can people partner with the iCan Dream Center and even the Battle of the Chefs?
Absolutely. So we are actually looking for sponsors for the Battle of the Chefs for sure. And that we'll have more information on that on May 2, Monday, on how they can get on and partner. It'll be on our website very soon. Excuse me. And we are always looking for people to come to our special events on Saturdays as volunteers. And again, we're looking for sponsors, people to come out and to join us in what we're doing. I do want to say a really excited thank you. And today we had our first corporate sponsor specific for our Little Dreamers. Today, at the
Yay.
Icon Dream Center, we came and we received a check from Rivers Casino for $50,000, which is going to cover our expansion of our Little Dreamers project, our Little Dreamers program. So all the furniture technology covered. So we're super excited about that. So we
That's
need more of
wonderful.
those sponsors. The other thing we're always looking for is career speakers. I know so many people have worked in so many different careers and done such interesting things. We want to share that with our students. It's not just about the career necessarily, because your vocation may or may not be accessible to all of our students, and that's okay. The magic is we love to have people talk about the barriers that they've overcome, right? Like what obstacles stood in your way. Because the thought process is if you can overcome barriers and our students can relate to you and identify with you, then they'll receive a message or internalize the message that their barriers are not insurmountable to their success either. And so we're looking for career speakers, we're looking for sponsors, we're looking for especially event volunteers always.
That is really wonderful. Well, you guys, if you're watching, you've joined us with Dr. Evisha Ford with the Icon Dream Center, founder and CEO of the Icon Dream Center, and not just someone who founded it, but also has a background and is an educator and has a heart for not only the babies but the all the children to dream bigger and to know that they can grow and surmount barriers of any kind. And so it's a great place. You guys want to invest in the Icon Dream Center and become a partner with the Icon Dream Center. Evisha, if you could leave us with anything that would encourage parents, and not just parents with children with disabilities, but also just parents overall, as an educator, as a mom, as a working mom, business owner, how can you encourage the listening audience?
Wow, that's a big question, Nisha.
Don't you love it?
I guess you talked about parents a lot. And one thing that one of my spiritual big sisters told me, and it's been so applicable in my own parenting journey and being able to encourage the parents at Icon Dream Center, is to realize that God loves your children more than you do. And I know that's something to grapple with when you think about it. And she told me that um, long before I ever thought about having children. And so she was probably mentoring me when I was 25 years old. Children, family, none of that was on my mind, to be clear. But it's sort of soaked into my soul. And it's just a reminder that God's making provision. And I believe that. Even when I thought about the program expansion, because we secured the space and the team was like, what are we going to do to fill the space? And I said, I'm not sure, but I do know that God loves these kids and he loves this family and that these families and that he's going to make provision for them. And that check came today from Rivers Casino at
Wow.
just the right time. And I feel like that's happened so many times. And I'm always reminded of God's provision and just how timely it is in his time. I've learned quickly it's not in my time, in his time. And so I would just say that, just to rest in that assurance that he really loves them more than we ever could. So
Awesome. But thank you so much for the conversation today. Thank you for enlightening everyone. Thank you for giving us some summer activities to do with going to Battle of the Chefs July 9th. Save it on your calendar right now. And by all means, be on the lookout for Spice and Spectrum, the recipes for resilience. And this is going to be a great fundraiser, as well as an opportunity for you to spice up your kitchen
yes.
with your children or beyond, allowing them to spice it up themselves. So thank you so much for today. You guys join us next time on Insightful Moments with Coach Nisha. Love you
Thank you for
guys.
having me.
Hope
Bye.
Cassie Visha. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, 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 yeah.